is my kid, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't pick point necessarily like, I think there's something wrong with my kid or a teenager. But what signs do are parents supposed to look out for to know like their kid actually needs like support?
So the first thing,
Because you'd be like, maybe this is just a kid being a kid. See, that's a teenager being a teenager. So what signs should parents like look out for to know like, maybe my kid needs extra support? Yeah.
I think the first thing is understanding your child's personality type. And most people don't take time to understand even their own personality type, because if you know your child's personality type, you know how they are, their baseline, their personality baseline. So maybe they're usually more quiet, maybe they're usually more reserved, they're calm, they're cool and collected, or they're the other side where they are talkative, they love making fun and having a good time. So when you understand their baseline personality, then you can be able to tell when they're deviating from that. So maybe moving away from that, and when they're acting different and when they're looking like they're not themselves, that's when you know your child is having an issue that might need some support. And usually even when you come for therapy for your child, you're just looking for support, recommendations to better support your child. The therapist won't take up the parenting job, but it's just to give you like some tips,
Yeah.
Do this, do that, here you can do this, here you can support them like this, and so on and so forth.
No, but for my case, I would want to know like anything specific, because I think that's a good explanation.
Yeah.
But now as a parent, I'd be like, what do you mean my kid's personality? Is it like, maybe a kid maybe not playing with other kids? Because it's kind of hard for me. I'm just trying to put myself like, of course you as a parent would know. Me, I'm not a parent. I'd just be like, this... I would need some specifics, maybe like, okay, I've realized maybe my kid is not playing with other kids, or they're overly too emotional with something, or crying when they're not supposed to cry. I mean, I don't know if that's like, I'm just trying to figure out like, okay, as a parent who doesn't believe in therapy, like they'd be like, okay, what exactly am I looking?
Yeah. But you see, now the thing is, kids are different. So, for example, even if you're not a parent, maybe for you, let me bring you back to your friends.
Yeah.
Do you have a close friend who you understand what their personality type is? Because their personality test to take if you don't understand their personality well enough. But I mean, if you have a friend, do you understand what their personality usually is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe you usually go out, you have fun. There are those people who make jokes, they laugh, and then at some point you realize this friend is no longer talking, he's withdrawn or she is withdrawn, she's not talking to you guys, she's no longer coming out. So, because you have to, the only way you know something is wrong if someone acts different from how they usually act. So I can't say a child who is talking a lot has a problem. No, because maybe that's their personality.
Yeah.
I can't say a child who is quiet and reserved has a problem, because maybe that's their personality. But if they're someone who's talkative and then they become quiet, then there's a problem.
Because even with something like that, now we have kids who have, what do you call it? ADHD.
Yes.
And I hear like some of those kids, there's always like a constant debate on whether they should be medicated so that they can calm down, or like that's now like we're saying like maybe that's their personality, we should leave them like that.
Yes.
Let them run up and down, Nini, but that's how Baba is. Just leave him alone. And because now it's also gets to a point where like if you think about it, it's serious, because someone is telling you to give your kid medication to suppress how they're expressing themselves. Yeah. So I mean, so in that case, like how do you go about that, or what advice would you have for someone who's like actually dealing with that? Because I hear it's also like now, also like something that's common in children, as opposed as how it used to be, kitambo.
So like, for example, ADHD, or let's say autism, it's a disorder that affects the nervous system. So this is like the same way you'd say I have malaria, or I have typhoid, or I have H. pylori or something, So it's not something you can overlook and say that this is a child's personality. And how you know it's beyond personality is because it affects everyday functioning. Like a child could be playful, but they can sit down and go to class. A child could be playful and extrovert, but they can still listen to you when you're talking. They can still finish their homework. They can still do ABCD. Now, where you draw the line in terms of ADHD and just normal maybe personality is when it affects their daily functioning and they're not able to do things that they would normally are supposed to do. Yeah. So that's how you know the difference. And you cannot really, of course they say you should not medicate forever, but there's a place where you might have to use medication as you use therapy, and then you can always now wean off the medication.
Okay, now